Just got a question for you. If you dress up like a cowboy,
yeah,
are you ranch dressing? I'm just asking.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
To get to the other side?
Because fuck Sheamus.
Welcome to the Smackdown Rundown, guys.
Hi, how's it going?
That's about how this Smackdown went. Should we go through the match or should we just dive right in? What should we do?
Yeah, do the matches.
Alright, we had
Dolph
Ziggler and the Usos defeat the New Day.
Hey, that was the
We
best
had
part.
Becky Lynch defeat Alicia Fox.
That was the other best part.
We had Bray Wyatt defeat Ryback.
That was also a good.
We had Titus O'Neil defeat Stardust. And we had Roman Reigns defeat the League of Nations.
Not the best part.
We opened up with Jericho, recapping what happened on the biggest highlight reel of all time. And then he actually ends up getting a taste of his own medicine in multiple doses because he gets interrupted by the New Day. And then the New Day start doing that thing that he does where they keep saying his name wrong or they keep saying different things that sound like his name. So Jericho got like a double dose.
Christoph.
He got all kinds of things. And you know they were talking about bringing up the fact that he was the one that broke Francesca and that blah, blah,
I lost a lot of respect.
He came back and there's no way he's gonna win the Rumble and Jericho's like well guess and then he named them all Rudy Tooty Booty and then he said hey guess what you have a 6-man tag match and you're not gonna like who you're facing and the Usos came out and I was like oh the guys that they're facing on Sunday cool and Dolph Ziggler with some pink Uso paint on.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool.
This was probably the best match.
I think they opened up with the best match. The New Day has chemistry with all three of these guys, so the match was fun to watch. And the end was funny because we had Jay in the ring, and he was kind of getting his ass handed to him by the New Day.
He was able to escape into his corner for a moment.
Yeah, where Dolph made a blind tag. And as Dolph got into the ring, Jimmy made a blind tag, and they hit a triple super kick on Xavier Woods, allowing Jimmy Uso to pin Xavier Woods and pick up the win. It was a lot of stuff like that. A lot of really good triple team work by both teams.
I was just really hoping the whole time that Ziggler was going to do what he did last time he was in one of these scenarios, and kick one of the Usos and toss the other one over the top rope.
Just kind
still going on his
prove that he's got a chance to win the Rumble. Not so much this time.
No.
We had a rematch. I think this is or did she go against Brie on Raw? Becky Lynch winning against Alicia Fox with Charlotte on commentary. Was it Tamina? Oh, that's right. The match wasn't very long. It was good though.
It was fun having Flair on commentary.
Yeah. And Charlotte giving death glares.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch ends up picking up the win. Alicia went for a scoop slam that Becky was actually able to reverse and roll into the disarmer, and she got Alicia Fox to tap out. And that was that.
Becky Lynch is going into the Divas Championship match on a roll.
That means she gonna lose.
Boo.
But we'll talk about that later. We had Miz TV, which ended up becoming Dean TV.
Best thing that's ever happened to Miz TV.
Because Miz got interrupted again by Dean Ambrose. He's supposed to have Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens on. And Dean Ambrose took us on a tour through his amusement park that is the Last Man Standing match.
Carnival of Carnage.
Where he talks about how he's going to break Owens in half on the turnbuckle.
Park of Pain.
And he says that Owens looks like a bear, and he's going to trap his paw between the steel stairs. He's going to hit him with kendo sticks. And then he's going to put him through
he said cheese grater, too.
Yes, he did say cheese grater. And then he said he's going to put him through what he calls memory lane, that being the announce table, which is what started this entire feud.
It's kind of like the Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens Tunnel of Love.
Except with less love.
And a table.
Yes.
Still all the love.
Yes. Kevin Owens comes
Secretly,
out.
that's how the storyline is going, because they're going to reveal that they are falling in love with each other over their ability to inflict violence.
I feel like Kevin Owens' wife and Renee Young might have issues with this.
I don't know. Ask Billy and Chuck's significant others.
Could we get those two? Could we get Renee Young and Kevin Owens' wife together? Because that would be hot.
I'd be in flavor of that.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Kevin Owens comes out and he talks about how he's gonna win his Intercontinental Championship back, and he's gonna stop at nothing to do it. Dean said something else towards the end. He said, well, we don't have to wait till Sunday. You can come down here because this is Dean TV.
And then Miz is like, bitch, just kidding, and he hits Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, Miz has been sitting in the corner like a scowling child the whole time.
Yeah.
And then attacks Dean Ambrose. Kind of waves Kevin Owens down. Hey, come on and help me beat him up.
Nobody puts Mizzy in the corner.
And then Miz ends up getting a pop-up powerbomb. And then Dean Ambrose almost gets a pop-up powerbomb, but he's able to fight out. And he walks away with Kevin Owens being all brr and mean and bleh.
Oh, and he counted. He did a whole...
Oh, because he ends up hitting Dirty Deeds on Miz, and while Owens is walking away, Owens is like, no! And Ambrose gets the 10 count on Miz, which isn't that difficult.
Then we had Ty Dillinger came out.
Nope. Then we had Bray Wyatt take on Ryback. This was Bray Wyatt versus Ryback. Ryback actually had some cool stuff. He Wyatted Wyatt right at the beginning of the match with a crossbody attack. Ryback tried.
Jumped up the top rope.
Yeah.
No water in the pool.
But he ends up going for shell shock, and we get Harper jumps up on one side, which distracts the referee.
Rowan's like, get down, Bray!
And then Bray throws Ryback out to the outside. Ref is still distracted. Braun Strowman tosses
Get down, Ryback!
into the stairs. Bray Wyatt brings Ryback back into...
That was the most awkward part. Was watching, trying to pull him back in. Like, Strowman should have thrown him back in.
Yeah.
Come on, Strowman. You could probably pick up Ryback with one finger.
I don't think so.
At least one hand.
One hand.
Like one arm.
Yeah, he probably does do that. But
two fingers.
Ryback ends up getting back in.
In the nostrils.
Gross.
In the nostrils.
Oh, okay. That's not where I thought you went first.
Right up the right crack.
Ryback ends up getting hit with Sister Abigail, and Bray Wyatt picks up the win. Then we had Titus O'Neil defeat Stardust with the Clash of the Titus. Then we had an interview with Renee Young with Kalisto talking about his match against Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio ends up storming his way in, and then the League of Nations beat the hell out of Kalisto.
Yeah, so now there's no more hell inside Kalisto.
And Kevin Hawk was surprised because Wade Barrett did something.
Yeah, he shoved Kalisto a couple times. Wow. Good on you, Wade.
Then Roman Reigns came out.
He threw a kick at Roman Reigns last Monday and Night on Raw, and now he's doing the pushing.
Did he get involved in the main event? Because I didn't watch a lot of it.
No, at one point... Are we at the main event already?
Yeah.
Alright, so we have the main event bit.
Roman Reigns talked about how, I'm so surprised that Vince made me number one, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to win anyway, and I'm going to beat the League of Nations, so let's start this right now.
Like it wasn't already time for the main event anyway.
Yeah. Like there wasn't 20 minutes left in the show.
So... It starts out like it's going to be a typical 4 against 1 handicap match where they have to tag in and out. Eventually, it just breaks down. All the members get in the ring and start
Roman
basically
won by disqualification.
Gang-banging Roman in their usual Brazzers style.
This edition of the Rundown brought to you by Joey Ryan.
And that's what they do. They start beating them up. Wade Barrett does a lot of pointing, a lot of this. Eventually, he actually rolls out of the ring when the Usos come out to save.
Yes. Yeah. Usos tried to even the odds, even though they're still down a person.
But Wade Barrett ends up proving his most usefulness by grabbing people's feet from outside the ring and holding onto them so they can't move.
Yeah, because one Uso ends up getting a jumping kick from Rusev, and the other one gets a bro kick from Sheamus.
Yeah, and like as they beat on them, Wade gets to hold their feet down from the outside so they can't like escape. Reigns ends up getting back up and clearing the ring though.
Yeah, clearing the ring of the League of Nations, and then it fills back up with Wyatt family. And then they beat the hell out of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns did have a chance for a second. He took out Harper, he took out Rowan, and then Strowman distracted him enough to get tossed out of the ring, and then he was in between Harper and Rowan again. Then he got beat to shit, got thrown back in, got hit with his sister Abigail, and the Wyatt family is standing tall again for the second time this week.
Yeah.
That just means that Bray Wyatt definitely isn't winning the Royal Rumble.
But they are looking to be odds-on favorites.
Yes.
Going into this thing. I'm almost feeling like we might get out of this Wyatt-Lesnar at Mania.
Really?
I felt because potentially...
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I really don't know how I feel about anyone versus... Like, at this point, like, thinking ahead to WrestleMania, I know we glazed over Smackdown fairly fast.
There wasn't a lot to talk about.
So I'm going to be going on a bit of a tangent
It's
here.
the go home to Rumble, so...
Is that I'm really not sure how I feel about any of the possible matches at this point for WrestleMania, with the exception of I can almost guarantee you that be it for the championship or no, I'm guessing a 99% chance we're going to see Roman versus Triple H.
I'm okay with that.
And that one I think will be a good match.
The only so as far as Brock Lesnar is concerned, the only one that I've heard that I'm kind of okay with is Lesnar versus Owens. I'm kind of okay with that. Just because I know that Owens could probably make Lesnar look like $1 million.
Yeah.
You can really rely on Owens to do that with just about anybody.
Yeah, I was thinking Owens versus Wyatt because during the post-match of the Ryback-Bray match, Bray was doing his pose in the ramp with the Wyatts behind him doing their little four jellyfish fingers.
Jellyfish. Jellyfish.
The jellyfish of the apocalypse. And he mentioned that specifically last week we destroyed, he said that we are war, famine, pestilence, and death.
Yeah.
And last week we destroyed the beast incarnate.
Yeah. It was, and on Monday Night Raw we slaughtered the beast, and this Sunday we slaughter the rest.
Yeah. So I think there could be a potential because they specifically pointed out the fact that we beat up Brock Lesnar. Like, they also beat up Roman Reigns. They did the same thing to Roman Reigns as they did to Brock Lesnar.
That's true.
But they didn't mention, we did beat up Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. They didn't say we beat the champion and the beast. They just specifically said, we slaughtered the beast.
I didn't actually think about that.
I catch on to these little
I notice little things sometimes, but not necessarily. No, there's a lot of uncertainty for this year.
But yeah, I mean, this thing at Mania, it's so uncertain what direction anybody is going in at this point. Because, I mean, I can't imagine they're going to be doing Owens-Ambrose after this last man standing match. It seems like a pretty definitive end.
This is the end for them, I would imagine. Because they've been going since...
And I mean, that, and if you consider if we end this mini feud between Kalisto and Del Rio at the Rumble, then everyone's basically clean slate.
That's true.
With the exception of Roman versus the Authority.
Yeah, because that's not going to end until...
Mania. That has to be Mania. It's got to be the finish. So, I mean, really, I think the only thing that's guaranteed 100% is going to be the Roman versus Triple H. Who would you like to see Brock go against? I mean, you said you'd be okay with Owens.
Yeah, I'd be okay with...
If you were in charge of booking...
God.
And, Lesnar's...
See, the problem is you're making me book a guy that I don't like. If I had my choice, I'd rather not have Brock Lesnar at Mania. That's my personal preference.
At this point, though, you'd have to consider, if you're working for WWE, how many other big draw stars are there left?
Yeah.
I mean, Roman Reigns is a fairly big draw, and then Ambrose and Owens are fairly big draws. Other than that, though, I mean, there's no one else that's on the roster with the level of star power behind the name Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to be lucky if he doesn't win the Rumble. Because he's basically the most famous person on the WWE roster right now.
That sucks. It sucks even more that you, like, brought it into reality. Like, fuck, man.
No Cena, no Orton, no Rollins. Like, top 3 guys who WWE would love to put marquee matches on for WrestleMania. You know, because you have Orton, who's Triple H's boy, who generally puts on fairly decent matches at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You got Cena, who's the company workhorse, who, of course, is going to do everything he can to make an awesome Mania match.
And you have Rollins, who's the biggest new face that they have.
Yeah, the company was riding on Rollins' shoulders for months.
Yeah.
Until he got hurt.
Oh, man.
So I'm going to give you 2 hypothetical questions. Who would you book, or not hypothetical, but 2, in your opinion, 2...
If I was booked.
For the most in bang for your buck, who are you booking Brock Lesnar against?
Honestly, I'm gonna stick with Owens, just with the fact that, you know, despite my dislike for Brock Lesnar, the crowd does chant Suplex City on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So he obviously is a big face draw, and with the fact that Owens is very capable of garnering heat, I think that's going to be not only the best opponent to put Lesnar against if you want to get a good match out of him, but that's also going to be the best way to really divide the crowd. Just because Owens is so good at being heel. So, I'd have to stick with Lesnar-Owens.
Well, I think Lesnar-Owens could be a great match. I think to me, that's dependent on how well Lesnar starts to put over Owens as a credible threat. I don't see Lesnar as a guy who looks at Owens and says, this guy's a credible threat. Just because I feel like Lesnar might be a guy who looks down on that particular body type. Just because he's been jacked since he was like 8. I would say Sheamus.
Really?
I would say Sheamus. I think League of Nations would be a really good job of do a really good job of helping this story move forward, especially if we start it per se at Rumble. Okay. Maybe League of Nations teams up to eliminate Lesnar. But, you know, the crowd does like to hate on specifically Del Rio and Sheamus the most.
Yes.
So I think they'd be a good rivaling thing. Maybe have Lesnar face Del Rio or Rusev at Fastlane.
Okay.
And then have him go on to face the leader of the League of Nations, Sheamus, at Mania. And mainly because that's going to be a really physical, hard-hitting super match.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess especially after the 7-minute match that we got to see them do at a house show.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could put on quite a match at Mania if they were just given, give them 20 minutes to go out there and do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
They could probably beat the shit out of each other for a while.
My other hypothetical is, video has recently surfaced of the Undertaker working out, getting back into Mania shape. And whether or not he was planning on wrestling this year at Mania, you've got to be certain WWE's been begging him.
It's Mania. Undertaker's going to show up.
Well, yeah, and I mean, despite the fact that, he hasn't been in the greatest health of the past few years, Undertaker, I'm sure, could take a Mania off if he felt like it. Especially because he worked more this year than he has in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just saw a video of Undertaker doing what was described as a 400-pound deadlift.
Jesus Christ.
At a gym in his hometown. So, I mean, obviously I think Taker's getting ready for Mania season, wanting to be in as good of, if not better shape than he was last year at Mania. To get your most bang for your buck, who would you book against Undertaker?
God. See, and that's... Oh, man. That's an even more difficult question. Because...
it's like, okay, who seems like they could be a credible threat to Undertaker, and the fact that he's almost unbeatable at this point.
Oh, man. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I honestly, I don't. The fact that between. Okay, here was my problem with Undertaker last year, is that we started the year with problems with Wyatt, then we finished up problems with Lesnar, and then we ended with problems with Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lesnar thing really threw off like the entire year. If they had held off the Wyatt stuff, I would actually say have this new, almost kind of what we were expecting for Survivor Series, is have, now that Wyatt has his group, he's got this super group now with the size and strength of Strowman on their side, and so you get the Brothers of Destruction being targeted, and then you have them bring in other people like Finn Balor, like whoever else you want to team up with them, or for nostalgia's sake, you bring back, I don't know, maybe you bring back Gangrel for a match or something, a former ally of the Undertaker, or something along those lines. But yeah, with the fact that they kind of finished the Wyatt stuff and they finished the Lesnar stuff, there's really nothing for Undertaker to do.
Yeah, no, because you have to think of, from this point forward, you're creating something completely fresh, with the exception of maybe if you bring back the fact that Undertaker and Jericho had a short feud, or something from the past.
Jericho would be good.
I'm going you seem very, very undecided.
I am.
Which is okay. I mean, it's a hard thing to fathom, because you are starting from a completely clean slate, and there's not a ton of people who are considered...
If you had asked me prior...
super viable threats?
If you hadn't thrown the questions at me while we're on camera... I'm like, if I had time to think about it, I'm sure I could come up with something.
I've got one in my head.
All right.
And I don't know how the setup would come. I don't really care how the setup would come of it.
You just want to see the match.
I want to see it happen because now it's possible. Undertaker versus AJ Styles.
What?
Weird, but I love in my head the sound of the Phenom versus the Phenomenal One.
That's what it would be.
That's just what I'm saying.
That's exactly what it... If you have AJ Styles make this big impact at the Rumble, he is the talk of the town for the next 3 months over Fastlane.
What if Undertaker... Okay, good setup. What if Undertaker is in the Rumble?
And Styles eliminates...
And Styles eliminates him Maven style.
That's... Why not?
Exactly.
And then
Maeve Styles.
Yeah, then you have Styles. Styles doesn't end up winning the Rumble. Styles goes on, has some sort. Maybe we get like just an awesome match of him at Fastlane, and then all through the month of March, because there's not going to be an event in March, as far as I'm aware. I'm pretty sure they're just going to use March to build up for Mania, which is the first week of April.
Second or third day of April.
You have all of this fanfare for the phenomenal AJ Styles. The most phenomenal athlete to show up in the WWE, the most phenomenal in sports entertainment, and then you have, phenomenal. He even eliminated the Phenom from the Rumble, and that's kind of what irks Undertaker. And then you have, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and
I'm into the idea.
When is the last time Undertaker's gone against such an undersized opponent at Mania?
CM Punk. 29. So it's been 3 years.
Before that?
I think the closest you could probably get would be Edge.
Yeah.
At 24.
good matches.
Yeah. And Shawn Michaels at 25.
Edge was good. Michaels was good. Punk was good. Undertaker works well. He really complements smaller, high-flying wrestlers.
And
guys like Jeff Hardy, we watched earlier today. We watched him go against Tajiri.
Yeah.
So he complements.
Raven.
He complements the smaller, high-flying, fast-moving guys very well. I think the fact that if he were to be paired off against somebody like AJ Styles, Undertaker could have a fairly light workload in the match, and you wouldn't have to risk a lot of if he's going against Lesnar, he's getting suplexed 100 times. You're not going to get that with Styles. Styles might get to pick up Undertaker once or twice.
Maybe.
Based off the fact that, Styles is somewhat smaller, it'd probably be a big deal when he picks him up and slams him.
Yeah.
That's my theory. Styles, Undertaker, book it.
Do it.
Get it done. We've been talking way too long.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe.
Click all the links down.
There's a lot of links.
Comment who do you think is who would you put against Brock Lesnar at Mania, and who would you put against Undertaker at Mania? Just discuss down there.
And check out the playlist.
Yeah, because we got Raw, we got Midweek, we got the Smackdown, and coming up next we got Rumble predictions. Following that will be an indie news with top prospect updates and the first ever Evolve Tag Team Champions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Hell to the yes.
We opened with fuck Sheamus.
Yeah, we're gonna end with it. Fuck Sheamus.
Fuck Sheamus.